Hey, I did this really cool thing where I turned the microphone on. Can you hear me now? Is that better? That's exciting. That's exciting. All right. Well, that's fun. Look, it's we're a tech company. It's all good. Okay. So we have got, thank you guys for being here, whether you're virtual or in person. We've got guest Lucas Howard today. So Lucas is an agent. You're out of Grand Rapids, correct? I'm not speaking out of turn.
That is correct.
Yay. Okay.
Up in Grand Rapids.
All right, cool. I got 10 points for that. In 2020, Lucas and his team closed 305 sides for over 2.2 million in GCI. So he's just getting started, which is super fun. He's also an OP. And then in addition to being an OP, he's an investor in 2 market centers. So he has a lot of free time on his hand to be with us today, which is great. He's a fantastic agent. And what he's going to do, actually, first of all, before I tell you what he's going to do, and I'm hoping that maybe this comes up at some point, like he's got some really interesting things within his business that he does. I mean, he follows the model, but he does some things differently. Like if I remember right, don't you have a director of fun?
I do have a director of fun.
That's what I thought. So I think that's super cool. So anyways, he's here to primarily talk today about unique value propositions, which to me, I'm taking as, how do you stand out in the herd and, make yourself win with the people in your sphere and your community and all the things. So I'm going to let you take it, Lucas, and then I'm happy if you want to be conversational, I'm going to leave myself unmuted. And yet if you've got a presentation and you're ready to go, you go for that too.
Yeah. I will say, I'd love some interaction, and selfishly, I'm looking forward to getting something out of this because I'm going to ask you guys to share as well on a few things, if that's okay. And forgive me, I'm also having technical difficulties. I got locked out of my computer, and I'm on my phone, so forgive me on that. So I won't be able to see even those that are on the Zoom.
It's okay because the people on the Zoom, it's so great. They all have their cameras off. It would not be awful if they turned their cameras on. And the way our camera works in our training room, it looks like there's 2 people, and there's more than that. But either way, yeah, when you want interaction, I've got the mic and I'll move around. You guys know the drill. And if you're on Zoom, you just unmute and throw it out there. So take us away, my friend.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, Lucas Howard, Grand Rapids, pretty much middle of the line down the state of Michigan, and we cover the west half. Is kind of our territory. We've got a few expansion teams as well. Love Tampa. I've been there twice in the last 2 years, I think. Quick in and out, but loved it. Today I was just I wanted to talk about unique selling propositions, unique value propositions, on a couple different points. One, to attract and separate in marketing, and then also a lot of ways to separate yourself when you're on the appointment. Now, if I could see you all right now, I'd ask for a raise of hands. How many of you are going on appointments where you're up against other agents? Maybe raise hands.
We have people raising their hands, I promise.
That's it. All right. Fair enough. So some of this will help you. Some of this you've heard, you may roll your eyes. What I'm going to do is kind of share a collection. I kept a little notebook of every single unique value proposition that I've heard over the years. I've been licensed 17 years and really full-time and only focused on real estate since 2012. Had many coaches, and some of what I'll talk about, guys and gals, I've pulled out at different periods, and I don't know how long you've all been in real estate. However, there's things that worked great for me in 2012 or 2014. However, I don't use now in a seller's market. However, when that shifts again, I'll have these in my back pocket. And not all of these.
You wanted interaction, so I'm going to interrupt you already.
Yes, please.
And I'm just going to, I want to make sure that the people who are here heard that in less than 10 years of being full-time in real estate, you've built to the level that you're at where you're bringing in over $2 million of commission income every year. And I just want to make sure that that did not get missed, because to me, I hear that and I hear, oh my gosh, exciting opportunity. So continue. I just had to make sure that point did not get missed.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, 2012 was technically my first full year. Didn't start the team until 2014. Within 5 years of that, we grew to about 60 million. We should be close to in the 90 million range this year.
No big deal.
Yeah. And our volume is our sales price is a little lower than yours there. I'm sure of it. So I'm probably envious of that. But yeah, the first one I ever heard was someone I'm friends with now, lives on the east side of Michigan, and he had a 1 day sold. That was his marketing, that was his guarantee, if you will, 1 day sold. And I was like, what the heck? That was, yeah, right beginning of 2012 when I met him. I was like, what is that? And he goes, well, I've got 1daysold.com. And he still uses it to this day, and it's more of a guarantee for him. Um, just to separate, he would get a lot and still gets a lot of people asking, oh, my cell phone's dropping down, sorry. Um, asking him questions, what is this 1 day sold? Um, and really for him, it was a guarantee. Think cancel, anytime guarantee. He basically tells them in his pitch, like, hey, my 1 day sold. It's not, I'm going to sell it in 1 day. It's, I guarantee every single day, I'm going to do something for you that's going to get you closer to your home sold. It's my personal guarantee to you. You could call me Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever day this week, and I'll tell you I'm going to be doing something to get your home sold. So just kind of a guarantee in that way. He gets a lot of business from it. Kind of silly, and of course everybody's heard of a guaranteed sale. I'm trying to think of my old domain, and this is back in, again, 12 or 13, and I think I had sold in 60 or something like that .com. Don't use it now. Wouldn't work now because everybody knows they can sell their home. But my point to bringing some of these things up is to, one, see how I've transitioned and how the market's transitioned, and I may pull those back out again. It's not always going to be a seller's market. And I've turned that into, going from a guaranteed sale on many variations, which has been successful, sold in 30, or I'll buy it, guaranteed sold, or I'll sell it for free. I used that for 2 years, and that was powerful for me. Again, I always looked at what's the average days in the market, what can I guarantee, how can I tweak it to make it work for this market. A lot of people do a guarantee a release it from your contract. If you're not happy at any time, hey, I'd rather shake your hand and give you a hug if I'm not getting it done and be on my way. Some of these I'll still put in my back pocket if I'm on a listing appointment and someone else is offering something, or hey, a 30-day contract, like they're going to list it for 30 days, extend if whatever. I say I can do better than that. Next week Tuesday, if you're not happy with me, it's not working out, I'll release you from your contract. Moving from that, we in West Michigan, we don't have any iBuyers in our market. Do you guys?
We do, yes, sir.
Yep. I will tell you, I decided to, and they're coming to our area. They're not there yet. And about a year and a half ago, I've got a few radio ads and different things in the radio. I was like, I'm going to play with it and test it out. And at first I couldn't grasp, why would anybody want to do that? Day 2 of me putting it out there, was a Saturday, and I got a phone call. And I was like, oh, my agents are busy. I'm going to actually field this phone call. They call their main line. And it was a sweet lady who said, hey, I'm looking at you. I heard you have a buyer program. I'd like you to make an offer on my home. Like, okay, tell me a little bit about your home. She said, it's new construction. I bought it 4 months ago for $460,000. And I said, well, hang on, what we do is I can make an offer, and at that price range, it's a lot more risky for me. Typically, and I was upfront with her, it's going to be maybe 70 cents on the dollar. I'd have to analyze it. However, I can come and show you what we could sell on the open market for. You even just bought it, but I could probably get you out clean. And she goes, nope, absolutely not. I don't want anybody through my home. Didn't give me the details yet. She said, well, take the day, pull up my info and come back tomorrow with an offer. Well, I ran the numbers. I threw a $370,000 offer at her, and she just bought it for $460,000. I felt bad. I didn't want to buy it. I wanted to find a way to help her. And I dug deeper the next day when I made the offer. And first she's like, sold, it's yours. I dug a little deeper, and she said, listen, I moved back from California. I have a lot of money. Money's not my issue. I have health issues. My husband is in a bed, close to the end of his life. I moved back here to take care of my father, who has brain cancer, and my sister's taking care of him, and she just found out she has a tumor in the brain. I don't care about money. Come by and buy this place. That was the first of many and most. Just having the program, I did buy it, I did sell it, I closed on it. When did I close that? I ended up selling that during COVID. At first, I was like, man, I think I got screwed on this because you guys are in beautiful Florida. We got shut down for 3 months.
I was gonna say, you guys got hit hard in Michigan with the restrictions.
For 3 months, shut down, couldn't even go show a home. But anyway, having said that, just being able to offer that or put that out there yourself, and if I hadn't personally bought that, I have investors that would buy in a second. I would say that's most. I haven't, but just the fact that I offer that or put that out in marketing gets a lot of calls. And typically most people will go, I'll handle both. Here's my offer, and here's also what you can get in the open market. And the bulk choose the, hey, on the open market. Having said that, there's a lot of people that have said, Luke, if it doesn't sell in 30 days, I'd gladly sell it to you for this. So, I mean, if you don't have something like that, why not?
I was just gonna say, I think that's a brilliant idea, and we do have Keller offers in our area, and yet at the same time, why would you not have your own?
Yeah.
Unless you are smack brand new in the business, could you not find somebody who would pay 70 cents on the dollar for a home right now? All day long, you could get a lineup of them.
I'll be your guy.
You don't. I was going to say, like, you don't have to be the one with the money sitting in the bank in order to offer your own iBuyer program. So I think that's brilliant. So love it.
Fact. Yeah, just have it in your back pocket, and then tell them, show them what they can get on the open market. I mean, in her case, there's health reasons and personal reasons. She didn't want anybody through the home. Another example was, this was one of 5 homes for them. Again, didn't care about the money, just cared about convenience. Just have it. And then as we go through this, if you guys have experiences, comments, questions, or your own, programs or variations of this or anything, raise your hand. And let's talk. Because I want to learn from you guys too. Let's see. One that works, that I do use now, and it actually works quite well, not only in marketing, but also people that are interviewing multiple agents. And that's simply, if you buy with me and you're not fully satisfied with your home within the first year, I'll sell it for free. And I think that offer has made us stand out more, because in this market, what are buyers doing? Some are rushing out. I mean, as much as we try to talk them out of, just writing an offer on the only home on the market that week and being unhappy, it gives them that peace of mind. I haven't had to do it, and I would. Why wouldn't I? I made my commission up front, and within a year, they're not satisfied. The exception is, okay, if you get relocated, that doesn't count. But if they're not happy, why not? Of course, that's my side. We'd still offer a commission to the other side. I do charge a broker admin fee. That was the only thing they'd pay for. But it gives that buyer peace of mind, especially in a market like this, where some are just, I don't know, your inventory there. We're about, in some areas, 0.2 month inventory.
It's about where we are.
Yeah, up 2.6 and a lesser desirable. So, I mean, some of these buyers were sitting down like, are you sure this isn't exactly what you told me you wanted? But it gives that peace of mind. Does anybody else offer anything like that or use that?
Anybody? Oh, we've got a question. I'm walking back to it. We're a one mic room, sir. Lucas.
Hey, Lucas, this is Daryl. I sold a property back in January this year for an elderly lady. She's 95 years old. Anyhow, the investor bought it for $206, which was a sweet deal. But the house is dated, needed a lot of work. Pull home. So anyway, I worked with the investor through the last several months to getting the house ready to go on the market. And yesterday, he calls me and says, Daryl, I'm not going to sell, I'm going to rent. And so last night I picked up my sign and I said, I can get you more money for this house in 1 week than you can pull in 10 years. And I just didn't have a good enough script to flip him, but I'm in the back of his brain right now, I'm sure. So any thoughts on that I can come back with?
Yeah.
Other than maintenance bills and taxes and repair bills?
Yeah. One, I'm going to say something you may not want to hear, and that's me as an investor. I can't blame him. I'm a hold guy. So if you get a great deal and you can hold it, I know that's not what you want to hear. Why not? On the flip side, yeah, having that conversation, him knowing exactly, have you run all the numbers with him? Does he know exactly what he'd walk away with after his massive taxes that he's going to take a hit on? And the conversation of being able to move that money into something else, create another opportunity for him.
That's a good idea. Thank you. I like it. Anybody else? They're just jumping in with all the questions ever, Lucas. All right, keep going.
All right. And I do, guys. I mean, if you have some sort of variation of any of this stuff, I want to hear it too. Let's see. Up until 2014, here's one that I used. I don't use it anymore, and you'll see why. However, I did change it, and that was which I can't see everybody how long everybody's been in the business. It wasn't always a seller's market. There was a time where, I mean, 100% of our offers we wrote, we were getting the seller to pay closing costs. That's just the way it was. It was normal. Almost like now it's normal just for a seller to get more than it's their home asking price and whatever. But up until 2014, a buyer proposition or value proposition we had to attract is I'll get you a home warranty included in your purchase, or I'll buy you one myself. And of course, that was in a buyer's market. Doesn't work now, but put that in your back pocket. I guarantee that turns around. And a little thought process on that is, at that point, we were asking for closing costs because it was normal to get a buyer's paid closing costs, and we'd ask for a home warranty. And if the sellers countered at all, they would typically not, they'd leave the home warranty in, but they would counter the closing costs. So the home warranty was getting covered anyway. Anyway, that's one I put in the back pocket. Now, fast forward, this is something I do use now, and I use it a lot. And I use it in competitive situations. I also use it in a tiered commission structure, which I don't know if any of you use or have any type of tiered. Ours is 6%, 7%, and 8%. I know some people go down. We actually just signed.
Everybody's ears just went like yeah.
Oh yeah, hey, guys, I'll tell you right now. I list them at 6. Even in this market, using this in our tiered construction, we signed one. It was a divorce situation, a horrible divorce situation, and we signed at 8%. This was 2 weeks ago in this market. And I'm going a little off topic here, but this is good. This ties into it. And guess what? In 2 days, we found the buyer for it and got both sides. Having said that, give them options. Create what a 6, 7, and 8% looks like. Yeah, you can make it 5, 6, 7. But I go in,
or you could just get your 6 or better.
That's it. Honestly, when I walk in, I still walk in. Yes, I can do things digitally, but I walk in with a listing agreement, and it's pre-printed, 7% plus $7.95 broker fee. Woo. It's pre-printed, because I would have to personally cross it out and change it. Having said that, I show the value. What is that for you? What can you offer? Is that staging? What is it? And yes, in competitive situations, you need to work on that. Where people come in at 5%. Luke, this guy's offering 5%. I love everything you guys have. Nobody's touched that. However, that's the separator. All right. One of those things, going back to the home warranty, because people ask on an appointment, well, what separates you? Hey, this guy you offer more, but this guy still offers a great, and he's 6% or whatever. Well, another separator for us is we actually purchase a home warranty that covers you. So while you're listed, should your furnace go out, AC, anything, there's a service fee, and they'll come out, and that's taken care of. That's something I provide for you. Also, Mr. Seller, I also purchase it in a way that it's covered for 12 months for the future buyer. What does that mean for you? That basically means that, we have more negotiating power. The buyer has more peace of mind, home warranties covered. And let's say Mr. Seller comes back and maybe something you're not even familiar with is starting to fail or getting older in your home, where a buyer would normally ask for blank $1,000 towards, replacing, where a home warranty could give that piece up front. So we'll offer that, and that'll cover them for 12 months. As dumb as that is, I mean, that's a program you could talk to America's Preferred Home Warranty or whatever else. The thing with that program, if you're not familiar, is you don't pay for it up front, and you only pay for it at the closing, and you only pay for it if the property closes. So even if furnace goes out in the cellar, you offer this, let's say, and the furnace goes out, or AC or something, that's
I was
covered
just gonna
under.
laugh. I'm like, we don't have cellars, and we definitely don't have furnaces, but that's so cute. You
Yes.
enjoy your Michigan.
I know it. Sidebar note: do you know why they call it May?
Because
It's
it may
because
be 40 or it may be 80.
Yes, that's it.
Ah,
And 2 days ago it was in the 80s, and I'm wearing a light sweatshirt today, just to give you an idea. But back to the meat. So AC, we'll stick with the AC on that. It's still covered, and even if they pay the service fee and get it done, and it doesn't close, or contract expires, whatever, it's not, you don't have to pay for it. So that's just something that will separate. And I guarantee I've never found another agent that really pushes or pitches in that way. They may put it out there, but not in that way to separate her. Does anybody else there use? Does anybody else
that's low
there use?
risk and high reward, which I
Yeah.
love.
It is. And I don't pull it out every time. It's not like I have a sheet of paper in my presentation that's covered, unless it's a certain tier in our commission structure. Having said that, that's in my back pocket. I'm up against something else. I need another win, something to separate myself. Does anybody use that, or has anybody used that program?
All right, so we've got a couple people in the room that said they've been using it. What about anything, or any type of something similar? Is anybody else using something similar? Pre-inspections.
Yep.
Okay, so someone's offering pre-inspections. What else? You guys are so interactive. It's overwhelming. That's exciting.
Come
Okay,
on.
cool.
Home
warranties, yeah.
Yeah. So use it. I mean, there's not many agents that are going out there and selling as a value proposition for yourself. And having said that, again, I use that most of the time in a tiered commission structure. You brought up something else about 6 months ago for inspections. Our homes are selling so quick, just like everybody else's. And quite frankly, a lot of people are waiving inspections. I'm sure they are down by you as well, or attempting to do a pre-inspection. And even those that are paying a home inspector, minimal to come through for a shortened time period. In our area, we don't have a large block. I mean, we're going to be flooded with hundreds of showings. So sometimes, I hate to say it, agent has 15 minutes. So to get a pre-inspection done is next to impossible. That's our reality. So sidebar note, laying in bed one night thinking about this, and I'm like, okay, even a shortened pre-inspection for a buyer, and I hate the thought of our buyers waiving it. I called up my preferred home inspector I've used for, most of the years, and said, hey, what would you think if, I partnered? You wouldn't have to do this, but I partnered with him on it, and said, what would you think if you and your guys came and did a pre-inspection for our listings? And he goes, look, we've always offered that. Sellers can purchase it. I said, well, let's think a little differently. What if you guys did it? The seller didn't pay for it. In fact, the seller doesn't even order it. So they're not liable, because I looked into this legally. They're not liable. They never look at it. However, what we did is we started offering it on the MLS. We've got a link, and it's right through the home inspector's portal, if you will, where someone can go buy an inspection. Let's say the home inspection is $400 per buyer, and we market it through, I don't know, $50 a pop. We do it based on price range and popularity of an area or home. Having said that, I was like, let's split the proceeds. You risk your time up front, I'll market it. And to give you guys an idea, wild success. I mean, $50
That's freaking brilliant.
50 bucks.
Oh,
a
we've
month.
got people. Okay, but now I want to hear. We have one of our agents, I won't name her, that just cringed. Tell me why you cringed though.
Yeah,
I
let's
could
hear it.
I could see a buyer coming back afterwards and coming after me, saying this home inspection was,
I feel like
it
that.
didn't mention this.
I
or-
feel like it would be the inspection company on the hook, though. I mean, it's
You know
their
they're gonna come after
inspection.
every-
But they're
So-
gonna come. This is my thing. They'd come after you regardless if they were pissy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how they go after everybody if they're gonna go after anybody. So I don't know that. I mean, your opinion is valid. I'm just saying I don't know that it really increases your risk, because if somebody wants to get all crazy and litigious, then they're gonna do it.
Couple things.
I get it. Go for it. Go for it. You,
Me?
Lucas, go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
Liability and legal wise, trust me, I'm a former broker, and my brain thinks that way. And that's another reason why we want to talk to an attorney. I haven't seen that report. I don't look at that report. In fact, he can show who has, who hasn't. So is it me providing it? No, it's the home inspector. On top of that, for the home inspector, of course, just like they already have disclosures for everything else, he has another layer of disclosure. Because as a buyer's agent, I went to my buyer team, went to my listing team to look at this many different ways. And buyer agent said, well, I don't want to pay for something the seller provided. Well, seller's not providing it. They've never seen it. I don't want to be liable as a listing agent seeing it myself, because then I have knowledge of potentially anything wrong, right? The list goes on. So now this is an independent third party doing it, who has an added layer of disclosure. Our waived inspections went through the roof on offers. My sellers are netting more money. And as a listing agent, I'm looking at it this way. How many times do people throw ridiculous offers? And yeah, we have backup offers, but they're falling apart. So we have less deals falling apart, which again, we always replace them in this market. Sellers are getting more. Buyers actually have, an option. I don't know. Just something
I
to
think that's
about.
brilliant, and it's an extra stream of income. Gloria, what were you gonna ask first?
I am. What happens if someone finds something, like the inspector finds something big? It really needs to be addressed. You'll never know.
Well, in negotiations, I mean, it's going to come up. I mean, for the most part, when you've gone through a home, there's some things that may pop up. You don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in Michigan, mold in an attic, it can happen. And seller has no idea. Would they take care of it if they knew about it? Absolutely. Could that be one of the items on it? That's going to come up regardless. And it's in this way, it's going to come up first rather than the deal potentially falling apart later. I'm more likely to have, when I have 15, 25 offers on this property, and let's say there was a major thing, people know it up front. I want the home, I'll take it on. Let's say it's a $20,000 expense. In my opinion, I'm still better off negotiating or figuring that out up front and from the buyer side than I am later negotiating one-on-one, if that's the case.
Well, yeah, we're seeing about 30% of our properties come back to market. It's
Yep.
a crazy dumb number. And so I think, first of all, I got excited about the dollars. And like, that's less deals going back to market. That's less canceled deals. Like, I don't
It
know.
is.
I get that you'd want to make sure that you lined it up and made sure it was safe. I think it's a super cool idea, though. You're
Yeah.
smart. I like it. Oh, Daryl,
It's
what's your
good.
question?
Lucas, have you ever had a buyer do a pre-inspection and get you under contract and then hit you with the inspection contingencies of X, Y, and Z being compared, and now they're negotiating down on price?
Well, he's asking but I think the whole point is what he's saying is that he's having people come in with no inspection contingency because they've seen the inspection report, or they're negotiating that, like, it's right in the offer, like, hey, we saw that your roof's about to cave in, so we want a $10,000. Like, so that's what he's doing it for, so that it's addressed right in the beginning, so that they actually don't have a leg to stand on later on.
Fact.
Yeah.
And you said that that you don't pay for the home warranty. Who does
Well,
it?
not home warranty. This
You
is
don't pay
Home
for
inspection.
the home inspection company is doing it for free in theory. And then every time somebody wants access to it, I guess he said it depends each time, but let's say it's $50 for access. So, but what if, 30 offers on a listing, what if 10 of the people clicked it? Home warranty, the home inspector's super happy. Lucas is happy. He's got extra income.
Well,
I think it's smart. I like extra money. I like when I don't have to do anything extra and I get paid more.
To be fully clear and transparent, in case you guys decide to do this, you know, average home inspection is $400, and they are putting their time out there for free. So the split 50-50 is after we've recouped $400.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. Well, then it's a win-win. I like it even better.
Yeah, it's so he gets reimbursed and then it's split.
What?
Um,
No. No, because he doesn't look at it. The sellers don't look at it. So there's no risk in that regard. That's what he's saying.
And I have proof there. He has access to it through most inspectors have a portal. Think Dotloop. They can see who came through their access. And they could show and prove that myself as a listing agent or my sellers overlooked at it.
Love it. All right.
How do you market that?
Oh, how do you?
I mean, how do you?
So Gloria's asking how you market that. Like, how do you? Is it just something you bring up in the listing presentation? Is it, or oh, you mean how do you market that it's available?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, how do people know? Is it in the remarks? Like, how do people know that it's available?
Well, I'll hit on both of those points actually, because you can use this as a separator, and I do use this as a separator in our market. I'm the one who set up the program with the inspector, so that is a separator. That is a differentiating factor between myself and
Yeah.
the listing agent. And two, we put it right in the MLS. So you could do it a couple different ways. If your MLS doesn't like it or it doesn't have a way to do it, you could put it as a picture. You're loading pictures and there's something there, QR code or a link, they can copy or write down whatever else. Our MLS has a spot with the disclosures and everything else. And we have a way to put that in there. It has the brief description so everybody understands it, how it works, all the aspects. The buyer's agents and buyers have full clarity up front. It's not us providing all that stuff. They click on the link, they get their own unique link through the home inspection portal and pay for it and get access right through the MLS.
Here's the deal. Whether you like the idea or not, that is outside of the box, and I am into that. I think it's great. All right, keep going. Yeah. One of the people in the room was just like, I can't wait to call my inspector. Like, yeah.
And
Okay.
I had originally pitched him, to be honest, the first time thinking, hey, I'm going to do this. I'll pay for you to come out, give me a break, a discount, and I'll pay for you to do it on my listings, and then I'll keep the money. And then I was like, wait a minute. Then I went to liability, and then I also went to, I don't want to be accepting payments. And then he's like, I can handle all of it. My portal already does it. So it's perfect. But again, like you just said, the point of all this is just, how can you think a little different? How can you adapt for the market? I mean, there's going to be a time.
How do you stand out? And that's something that makes you stand out. I think it's great.
That's it.
So
That's it.
Kim, what's up?
When he's ready, I just would like to know how he gets the listings. Like, what is he doing marketing wise?
Like, literally, what is he doing to pull in listings right now? Yeah. Will you share some of the things that are bringing in listings right now?
Yeah, I can go through a lot of stuff. I'll time out and I'll come back to this in a second, but let's focus on that because we all need listings. One, to give you guys an idea, 305, 151 of our 305 last year was repeat and referral. From our sphere, whatever else. Having said that, beyond that, we have a lot of branches on the tree. And every time I get to a point where you're feeling that max, I'm looking at what other branch on the tree can I add? What am I not doing that I can be doing, or what works in this market? Example, some of these things that we're talking about, I send these out in mailers, market digitally via a Facebook or wherever, and attract phone calls. Have you guys, does anybody know what GLS is?
No.
We're getting blank stares.
Okay. I'm about to blow your mind.
Woo!
Okay. GLS, Google Listing Service. Now, about 5 years ago, Google rolled out, I think it was with plumbers first, then HVAC, 3 years ago to hotels. Fast forward, they just, within this last year, have been releasing it for real estate. And I was going to give you example to do to Grand Rapids, but I don't want you guys clicking anything and costing me money. Having said that, Google Tampa Realtor. And to give you guys an idea, everybody's probably heard of HomeLight or those other companies. And those guys are going to be at the top with ads. If it's not Zillow, it's going to be one of those companies top with ads. And then people are clicking on those ads, and then you're paying them what, 30% for those referrals. Having said that, Google is always looking for more revenue. I've been doing pay-per-click with them since 2012. So Google listing service is different. You could Google Grand Rapids Realtor. You just don't click on anything, please. And more than likely, you're going to see on the top, you'll have ads. And above that, which didn't used to be there, is now banners. And it'll show Google certified realtor. And there's probably going to be 3 of us up there. So they're placing you above on their dollar. They're ranking you up there once you sign up for this service, which I'll go and do in a little bit.
Oh, you muted yourself. There you go.
Okay. Am I back?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, sorry, I got a call. Negative me being on the phone.
Oh, good.
So you'll be Google.
Hey, I'd like to point something out, actually. You've
Yeah.
been with us for 38 minutes, and that's the first time your phone's rang. And you are going to sell 400 houses this year. So
That's because
probably leverage.
This is my bat phone.
So just want everybody to hear that. That's the first time his phone rang for all you people that can't do your lead gen because your phone rings. Just saying. Keep going.
I'll keep going. So when you submit to Google to get Google certified, and that's what gets you up there, it's a process. I think there's a little fee. They do a full Pinkerton background check on you. It can take up to 3 weeks. And then you're Google certified. Now, if you were to click on that banner, what it does, it sets you up for a phone call. You only pay Google, not pay-per-click, per phone call. So Google is putting themselves above the home lights and all those other companies, which is awesome. And think Google pay-per-click, you're just paying per phone call. So the back end of my Google app, if you will, it shows all the phone calls. You can pick which type of phone calls you're okay with. If you're in property management, you can select rentals, things like that. We don't do that, so we've got that turned off. To give you an idea, in our area, currently price per call is about $28. And that's actually really good. There's areas that they've been in Arizona for, I don't know, a year and a half, highly competitive, and they're paying $95. Having said that, those agent friends of mine said I'd pay $300. That's how powerful this is.
Well, I was going to say, I'm sure you track
Yep.
your numbers, like how many calls before you get something solid, would you say?
Yeah, I'll give you an idea. They say if your profile is set up appropriately, there's little tips and tricks to this, which I couldn't even go in the next hour. You guys will need to do your research or pay someone to do that, and you can. My first month, we got 42 phone calls. They told us to expect between a 20 and 30% conversion. We had 33% conversion. You run the math. My average price point is $259. And I was the first one in our area to do it. There's other people that now have gotten certified. Here's trick number 2. It's based off reviews. So how many Google reviews do you have? If you pull up Lucas Howard Group, when I started this 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago tops, I had 283 reviews. We're probably about 830, 850 now. We ran a competition. We went heavy. Having said that, you get Google certified. It's going to be you and 3 people. And Google is going to rank you. They love reviews. So if you have Google reviews, you need to beat out those other people. You need to have more.
Here's what's cool about that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Google is not, anybody can review you. They don't have to reference a proper, right. Okay, so you could, guys, okay, this is a mind blower, and I hope you guys are all hearing it. And he has 800, I just looked, you have 818 reviews currently. So what a slouch.
And we did that in a 2-week contest. We went up, and then everybody was kind of drained. We're about to do it again. My goal is to get to 2,000 to be so far ahead of anybody else. In fact, my mom
is brilliant.
My mom has reviewed me. My dad has reviewed me. Put it this way, my agents are like, well, what if they haven't worked with us? That's fine. Would they recommend you? That's all that's needed. So yeah, they don't have to work. Would they recommend you? Anyway, it
That
is
is super cool. Okay.
right now. I'm riding that GLS train like nobody's business, and we're making a lot of money off it and doing a lot of deals. You can challenge, just so you know, you can challenge. All the phone calls are recorded in Google in your app, and you can challenge. And if you challenge it, Google listens to it, and then you don't pay the whatever the fee is. Having said
When
that,
would you challenge? Like if it's somebody that just won't engage with you at all, or if they hang up, or like what?
if somebody, Google looks at it if they're calling for real estate, and again, that's why they have check boxes in the back. So if I have unchecked rentals, which we don't do in our area, and someone's calling, inquiring on renting, I hit the challenge button and I don't pay for it. Google listens to it and says, yep, you're right. You don't pay for this one.
That's so cool.
So this is going to change, and I'm teaching you guys in Tampa. I don't know if people are listening. Having said that, more and more people are going to find out about it. Just get on the train now and get your reviews up. At least get in the game. So right now we're getting a lot of listings from that, and I'm not kidding. These phone calls, I'm on my phone. I could probably play one for you. These phone calls are, hey, I looked you up, and I'm looking to sell my home on 123 Main Street.
I have
Great.
to I have to brag on one of our agents because I just Googled Tampa Realtor, and the #2 spot is an agent that has only been in the business for a year, and it's Paige Jacobson.
And they're Google certified?
Google certified. She's right, Google screened right in that list.
Yeah, Google screen.
She's the second one that comes up, and she's only got 7 reviews, kids. So look, all I'm saying is I think there's opportunity. Not that I want to bump poor Paige off. That's awesome. She's up there. But I believe there's opportunity, and that was specifically Tampa Realtor. Okay, so they probably cycle through them, but still. Anyway, look, all I'm saying is that's pretty cool. And I love that you pay if they call you. You don't pay anything unless they call, right? I mean, that's
right.
low risk, high reward, in my opinion. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and we do get, we're signed up for home lights. We do get some things from there. Having said that, our home light stuff dropped down since Google launched in our area. So I'm getting those phone calls and paying $28 where I would have paid 30-some%.
Oh yeah, or if you're getting leads from the Double Zillow, I mean, like they're up to like 150, 200 a pop, and the quality is not even great. So no, that's fantastic. I love that. All right, what else? What else?
Yeah, on the listing side, right now, circle prospecting is bigger than it ever has been for us. It just is. We've been circle prospecting for a lot of years. Around our listings are just solds. We are having so much more success now doing it than we were before.
What's your script sound like?
I mean, I'm removed from that now, but if you put me on the phone right now with them, I'd say, hey, Mr. Jones, yes. Hi, I'm Lucas Howard. I just sold the home on 123 Main Street, which is just around the corner for you. Recall, we have a lot of extra buyers in that one. Have you heard any neighbors that have mentioned they consider selling? No? How about you? It starts a conversation there, and circle prospecting to me is the easiest conversation there possibly is. And sometimes I even tell them, like, hey, when I was calling, I'm like, hey, neighbors are always curious what homes sold for. We just got 13 offers on this. We've got a lot of extra buyers. Have any of your neighbors, mentioned that they consider selling? No? How about you? And then starts a dialogue. But we're having a lot of success with that. We're also sending out, I don't know if anybody in the office has shared, or Matt's coaches have shared with any of you, the golden letter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm still getting a lot of hand raisers from sending that out. I have 3 girls, and they're working. I'm paying them. They're working, and they're handwriting these things for me, signing, going out. They work.
I love it.
But circle prospecting in this market has been a big thing. Expireds and for sale by owners were always big for us. There's not a lot of expireds. For sale by owners, it's tough. Heck, we're selling for sale by owners. We still do well with them. Right now, the biggest thing, GLS, circle prospecting, and those letters are probably the biggest ones that are feeding. Other than that, I mean, it's for us, it's always our sphere. And when you're asking for reviews, reach out, customize that, make it you know, make it personal when you reach out for those and text those. Start the conversation. Dig in your database.
Love
It's
it.
simple to say, but okay.
Well, it is simple. That's the point. They can't hear it enough.
Yeah.
So I'm into it. All right. So let's go back to the discussion on value proposition, because I don't think
Yeah.
you were done. We squirreled you.
No, I've got a handful more things. Yeah. I talked about the seller's home warranty before. Another one, again, you can tell me if anybody's raising their hands. Does anybody do any like heroes program? You know, veterans, nurses, teachers, all of that. Anybody?
No, no one's really. Well, you didn't. Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, yeah, Gloria, but you actually do it through Homes for Heroes, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of people that do the actual like the Homes for Heroes program. So do you do that, or do you have your own program?
Own program.
Love it.
And I've from the
I love
beginning,
that.
Homeward Heroes, and just created our own program. I just couldn't wrap my brain around that. I'm paying them, plus I'm giving more, you know, percentage when I'd rather give it to the veteran or whatever else. And the same thing, just as they teach you, go to firemen, whatever else. I also pay for lists, because you can get data lists on anything you can possibly think of. Anything. You want a list of all nurses in
Oh, you muted again. Very good.
got another call.
Yep.
Or teachers in the area, like our team has paid for those lists, and now we can mass market them, our program. We put it in. A lot of major hospitals will have their own magazine or digital or otherwise, or newsletter benefit. We put that stuff in there. It works for us. And to be honest, we haven't put the time into going to each individual fire station or teachers or whatever else. I'd like to have someone leverage that out. But for right now, you can purchase those lists and mark that out. And you don't have to pay someone. You can do it on your own.
I love it. What would you mind like what's your program? Would you mind sharing it? Like, is it a percent off? Is it, what is it?
Yeah, ours is 20% right to them. It's simple. That's it. So 20% right to them. We market to them, get them in front, and it works for us. Draws in business we wouldn't otherwise get.
One of our agents is asking where you would purchase the list. Is this just like, do you have a resource, or every time you just Google and find something?
I posted out, and it's been a while because you're going to have to purchase new lists every so often. So we're running off an old list probably, and that there's been job changes or whatever else. I'd have to look up the name of the data company.
I'm gonna take a wild guess that he's not the one ordering the list, and that's probably the deal. So if you think of it, I'm happy to share it with them.
Yeah, we share it later. But there are data companies out there, data mining. And also I do remember this. I remember one of the lists was going to be thousands, and I mean thousands of dollars. And I was like, whoa. We called and negotiated. We said, hey, we can't afford that. We were straightforward to them. It wasn't me, it was my wife. If you've met my wife, Elissa Howard, she works with me. She called and said, we can't afford that. We're not going to pay that. Here's what we can't afford. Would you provide this list? They said yes. So and we need to go update those lists. So that is a thing. There's data mining companies. You probably could do a Google search for this specific type of industry.
You could run the ad through command too. I'm sure you could.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you find that type of like occupation, like you can drill down pretty good. So that could also just be an ad that you ran.
That's a fact. I mean, search by, nurses, teachers. I mean, people put that stuff in their profiles. Why not?
Absolutely.
And that's a cheap way of doing it.
I love it.
Oh, let's see what else. While I'm on the appointment, and this actually popped up because I don't know how many years ago this was. I lost on an appointment, and I always call. I'm good. I'm very competitive, so I want to know if I lost, why the heck I lost. And I remember making this call, and this other agent said that if he sold it, meaning he personally brought a buyer, he would list it for X. I'm like, I would do that. I've done that before. I've done that before. And I'm like, but you know what? I didn't have that in my brain or my back pocket to pull out. So now it's in my back pocket. I've trained my brain where that's it. So, we tell them we list for X, well, Luke, you're 7%, listing. Well, having said that, if we attract and bring our own buyer, which by the way, we spend X and, to attract buyers, we bring it in, we'll do it for this percentage. Now, you guys might get a little sense of my brain now. I run a team and we're listing specialists and buyer specialists. Having said that, I don't field any of these buyer marketing calls. My buyer's agents do. And that's not included. If I personally, so I'm not screwing my buyer's agents basically. Rarely happens and it can happen. And that works. That's just a slight.
Yeah, and you won the listing, so who cares?
Yeah, I won the listing. So a slight separator. But it's things like that. Just put these in your back pocket. And no, you're not going to need to use these all the time necessarily. And be prepared and you can. Down to, I am huge in, we're with a company that tells you to know your numbers.
Yes.
Guys, I joined Keller Williams, to be exact, January 17, 2015. And I moved to an office, I moved my whole family to the other side of town. So I was new to the area and they were primarily an office, small but mighty in the area. And our area was called Rockford. And they're like, well, you're not a Rockford agent. I'm like, I've maybe done one deal in Rockford. Having said that, my brain went, well, I'm more than likely going to attract business in this area. And I haven't focused on it before. So I went to our MCA and I said, what is our market share in Rockford? She pulled it up for our small but mighty office. And she said, it's 59%. 59%. Oh, that's huge in any area. Having said that, what I went on my next appointment that I did get in Rockford and I said, because at Keller Williams, you are a team. We are a unit. We are a unit. And I went on my next one. I said, well, what makes you different, Lucas? Well, as a matter of fact, we have a 59% market share, meaning 59% of the properties that sell in here are done through us. That's a powerful statement. I took that thought process and I went, okay, I could do this on a neighborhood level. I could do it on, city, township, wherever, and I'm going to know my data and I'm going to know our value proposition for that. So example, I moved from the other side of town and I moved into the pricier area of town and hadn't had a lot of experience. Now this is an area now that people think I own. I don't. I will. I don't. Because we're everywhere. Having said that, I walk in an appointment. It's a certain neighborhood. The first thing I'm doing is looking up what's our market share for our office in that neighborhood. And again, I'm using we. So we sold this. Just like if there's in neighborhood I want to circle prospect, I didn't have a just sold just listing to someone in our office. I want to own that neighborhood. I want a listing in that neighborhood. How can I do it? My point is know the numbers, know the research, know the stats. At any given time in my career, I've been able to, or could, if I was sitting down with you, if you're my client, I could tell you my value proposition, meaning every 3 months, we look up again, what is our association's average days in the market? What are ours? What are average list to sales price ratio? What are ours? So I can tell you at any given time, like currently right now, even though everybody's getting above list, compared to our average in our association, I personally, my team, nets 2.8% higher than the average agent in our association. If I didn't look up this data, I wouldn't know it. I wouldn't be able to use this as a value proposition of something that separates. And I can show them association data and our data. I can use that even when I'm calling for sale by owner of, hey, I'm going to sell in this market. Great. But here, can I show you how to, on average, we net 2.8% higher than the average agent in the area? My point is know the data, know your office's data, and use that as a unique value proposition for your potential clients.
Well, yeah, know your story and then tell it. You can't just know it, you got to share it. So we're almost out of time. I want to see, do we have any, okay, Daryl's flapping his arm. All right, so hold on, I got one question and then we'll probably have time for one other. What you got?
Lucas, I have a free home inspection that the seller paid for on a 1.6 coming up active next Saturday. How can I use that to my advantage when I get the buyers coming in the door? or
Yeah,
on
I mean,
contracts.
so the sellers provided it,
Yeah.
then put it out. I actually,
Yeah, put it in the attachments. I would.
yeah, put it out there. Put it out there for everybody, and why not? What I used to do, and I think the first time that I used to have a pre-certified program, think a pre-certified car. I'm car shopping right now, and I look to see if it's pre-certified, and I ask it, why not? If it's not, why not have a pre-certified home? And basically, in those cases, I remember I have $650,000 listing, which was big for this area, and the seller chose, let's do this. We even laid it right on the kitchen table, and beautiful home, not much wrong with it. Having said that, there was 2 fixes she was going to do. We went through page by page and circled, not going to do, not going to do, already taken care of, ask for a receipt or information. And we use that. Again, it's a peace of mind level for a buyer. Is your seller more likely to get a higher price because you provided that and put that out there? My opinion, yes, absolutely.
Yes, all day long. All right, one more question. You got a real smart dude here. Somebody else has got to have a question. If you're on Zoom, you have to unmute to talk. Don't forget that.
If you needed to listen today, where
Oh.
would you go?
If you needed a listing today, where would you go?
Ooh, man. One, right now I'd answer my GLS call, but that's an easy answer. I'd go door knock, circle prospect. I would.
Okay.
In the past, I would say call it for sale by owner and expired, which I'd still do. But I'd go door knock and circle prospect, drum up business.
Love it. All right. Hey, thank you, my friend, for being here. Please get up for Lucas.
My pleasure, everyone.
You definitely blew my mind on some of that stuff. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Go keep killing it. All right.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, everybody.